all of us for joining us. I want to ask the first question to you, Mr. Sung. How does it feel to see your story told on screen like this? What's your reaction?
Telling our story. I just want to thank the crew, directors, Jim and Mark, Nitin, and the entire crew presenting our story to the public. Job well done. We appreciate it.
I'd like to hear the reactions of Vera, Jill. You're all featured in the film, Chanterelle. How do you feel?
Okay. I guess I got the mic first because no one ever listens to me. It's an extremely emotional time for my family, and so I was the one crying in the film as well. But it's just so powerful to see this and to know that our story can be told and heard and understood now to a larger audience. I don't want to steal the the attention. Does anyone else want to say?
Hi, I'm Heather Sung, and I'm the third daughter. And I'm the one that's not the lawyer or the banker, and I'm the one that gets migraine headaches when I go into the city. But I think that this is a story that's not just about justice and how it's valued upon those with wealth and power differently than those who have lesser means, but this is a story about honor, family, determination, community, and possibility. And I think that it is also a story, it is a cautionary tale for those who are in positions of power to be so thoughtful when you make decisions, that these decisions are not guided by self-empowerment or personal gain, because the possible consequences of these decisions can be catastrophic, and in this case, potentially detrimental to an entire vibrant community.
Wow, you guys, that was great. All I can, the one thing that stays in my mind is when you know that something is right and you feel that something is wrong, you just have to go out there and be brave and fight for what's right. And you'll see that there are other people who will be out there to help you. We have so many people throughout our struggle who came to our assistance, and it was really just really so helpful throughout all of this. So never be afraid to fight for what's right.
I just wanted to sort of wrap it up by saying we have a tremendous amount of gratitude to everyone who's helped us tell our story. And we wouldn't have survived through this without, as Vera was saying, and Heather and Chantal, in believing in our principles, but without tremendous amount of support and friendship. And that is what is so important, is to have that. And we are extremely grateful for that in our life.
for Stephen, James, and Mark, and the whole crew for representing our side of the story, that the world would know how injustice was done to our family. And as you can see in the movie, I always want to save my face. And I brought out my children. I can't believe they speak so well now. And I used to spank them, beat them up. You know, I always say the way I took care of them, I could have been in jail many times. How well they have become, and really, I'm so proud of them. And this old man really should be proud of them. Anyway, thank you so much. And thank you for your support, and hopefully this movie will express, do some good to the country or whatever.
Mr. Sung's she'll be appearing at a local comedy club starting tonight.
Steve, what drew you to this story?
Well, the credit for being drawn to the story goes to Mark Minton there on the end. Mark and I have known each other for a number of years now. He worked with me on Life Itself, and he badgered me about this. He knew the Sung family. He and Vera had known each other for 10 years, something like that. So Mark really was the one that brought my attention to the story. Mark, why don't you take it?
To me, this was a story that I'd known Vera and the family for, as Steve said, over 10 years. And it was a story that seemed to get lost in the mainstream press, that the Chinese press was covering this every day. But as they've all pointed out, it's a story about injustice. But it's a story about injustice for a community that's often overlooked, that for many people, they don't understand Chinatown is almost like a country within itself, and understand that those people live in a way that is somewhat different than the rest of the New York community. And for the DA to take the stance that he did, it just seemed like this was a story that was ripe for Steve James to talk about what that kind of prosecution was all about, and why the Sungs are the kind of heroes that they turned out to be.
Well, but remember, as DA Vance said, they didn't treat your bank any different than they would treat a South American bank or an Indian bank. So, you know.
I would love to take some questions from the audience. Raise your hands up high. I will be repeating the question. Yes, right here.
Yeah, it was a really terrific movie. I really enjoyed it. One question I had was, I don't even know if I should be saying this, but I am an attorney, and I am familiar with some of Mr. Vance's other prosecutions that have sort of also went off the rails with Julie LeBeau, and he indicted a 25-year-old middle manager guy who really didn't do anything wrong. I didn't know, there was none of that in the movie. I know you didn't want to make a movie about him, but I just didn't know if there was any other consideration of some of the other cases that have had sort of similar consequences.
The question is if you considered any other cases of Mr. Vance when making this film.
Because, as you said, there were instances where his judgment seemed rather questionable in other cases. And we were certainly very much aware of that, and we talked about it. We never seriously considered putting it in the movie because we felt like we wanted to focus on this story. And I think it's one of those kind of stories, I think, questions about that, his judgment that maybe will come, if the film gets enough play, that I think will become part of the story of people talking about what this film is about. But I don't think, at least I never really wanted to go too deeply into his other cases. I felt like what was fair to him, in a sense, as it relates to this story, was just focus on this case, because I think this case reveals what you're saying.
Yeah, all right.